The hardest parts of the faith are the moments that we are required to live it out. And think about that for a second. It might sound a little ridiculous to say it like that, but it can be easy to come to church on the weekend, learn about the scriptures, receive communion, pray for the things that we need, ask for things for the world and for others. Just try to connect with God on the weekend. But then when we leave here, we all try our best to live out this faith that we profess to believe. And that's where the rubber meets the road. That is where, in our spiritual journey to heaven, that we encounter some speed bumps occasionally. These moments of temptation that can sometimes shake us to the core if we are not prepared to handle them. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, we hear in the gospel today one of the more popular passages where Jesus takes a concept like how to treat others and he flips it on its head in order to show the people the true way that we are called to live by how God is calling us. It should come as no surprise that to those people that were hearing Jesus' message the first time there, about loving your enemies and doing good to those who hate you, they didn't have the easiest time accepting it. And the reason why it should come as no surprise is because to this day, we still have trouble accepting it. It's not an easy teaching to accept. That's the point. It feels a little unnatural at times, because when someone wrongs us, many of us have an initial reaction of wanting to get revenge, of wanting things to be even, trying to get something out of whatever we can. And now the morality of that situation comes down to what we choose to do with those impulses. Many of us sometimes think about those things, but the question is, what do we do with those thoughts? Do we give in to our anger and let our frustrations out on the person that hurt us? Or do we take the time to acknowledge that this person who has wronged me has no say in how I should live my life? And I then sacrifice my desire to get revenge and offer that up to the Lord. That is why faith is the hardest once we leave here, because it can be very clean and easy to think about these topics in abstract ideas. It can be simple to find the right answer when we have all this time to think through all of the aspects of this problem. The real problem comes when we leave and we experience these tough situations with our passions and our emotions swirling around in our head and clouding our judgment. Think about how David must have felt in the first reading today when he came upon Saul asleep, and this is the man who has been hunting David. It's his enemy, really. And David knows that if Saul is alive, there is a chance that he could be killed. And so David not only has his sleeping enemy right in front of him, laying next to a weapon, he also has a friend whispering in his ears to do it, to let him kill his enemy for him, so that he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. But David doesn't take the easy way out. Instead, he looks to the Lord for the true guidance in what he is supposed to do. He truly lived out this difficult message that our Lord was teaching in the gospel today. And the way he was able to overcome the temptations and the emotions in his head was his deep and intimate connection with the Lord. So how can we implement these teachings into our life? It has to start with our deep spiritual life, taking the time in prayer to hear the Father's voice and being guided by his Spirit in all the small aspects of our life. Every little moment that comes along, trying to hear God's voice, so that when we come across the big moments where all of the emotions are high and our judgment may get clouded, it will become second nature to us to take a moment and stop and listen for that guidance coming from the Lord. then we will be able to live out our mission to be merciful as the Father is merciful, easily and with joy.